right here on Main Street TV, where it has been a wild weekend here in our area, full of all kind of craziness. But our guests aren't crazy today. They're fun, right, guys?
Absolutely.
And we are going to talk about something really, really cool that's going to be opening. So, can you tell everybody who you are?
Go ahead.
My name's Kurt Klein. This is my daughter Kayla, and we're opening a country/general store at our farm here in Albany called the Century Farm Market.
And it is going to be super duper cool. And we're going to hear all about that here in just a moment. Plus, we have one of the band members because they get wild all together. So we only got one of them today from 8 Lives Left, and we'll be hearing from them here in just a little bit. So let's have a message, and then we'll be back and talk about this new store opening in Albany.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with Kurt and Kayla. And Kayla, are you a Klein also?
Yep.
Okay, so I can call you that, the Klein fam. So
There's a story behind that. We'll leave the 10-year-long boyfriend's story out of this story for now.
Okay. Well, are we going to tell the story of the Mr. Potato Head?
Well, I don't know. We could just ask him for real here if we needed to.
Is that Potato J? Is that what you told me?
Potato J. Yep. I think he's a plumber because his pants fit pretty loose on the back. So I don't know.
Yeah. Poor guy. Well, we'll buy him some suspenders.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So tell us a little bit about what you all have going on there in Albany. So you have a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we raise 60, 70 head of beef cattle right now.
Yeah.
We're doing maple syrup right now. Opening up a feed store. We'll have some baked goods. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, so the farm's been in our family for a long time, since 1863. I don't know if you remember, but I'm the owner of Big Rack Feeds. I think we talked in the fall a couple times, part of the Big Rack competition and stuff. So,
Super cool.
The farm's always had something being sold, goods that we produced. And Mom and Dad had a huge strawberry patch and blackberry patch, and we've always raised livestock forever of some sorts. We had 500 head of sheep for 20 some years. We've had cattle. We've done just a little bit of everything. And then, it just kind of, this whole store idea and market has just transpired kind of organically, I guess. It isn't something that we just woke up one day and said, hey, let's do a store. The selling bagged corn and deer corn probably pushed this down the road a little farther. And then a couple years ago, I sold my interest in the cattle to my daughter and her boyfriend. And so they decided they wanted to sell freezer beef where we just sold feeder cattle. So they wanted to take, packaged burger and steak and different things and sell it directly to the consumer. Okay. And, one of the driving factors of that is, that stuff's expensive. And a lot of people can buy halves and quarters and whole beef, but it's a lot of money for the consumer to fork out all at once. So Kayla identified that she thought that there was a nice niche market of being able to offer it just like at the grocery store. If somebody wants to come and buy a couple steaks, a couple pack of burgers, bi-weekly, weekly, a couple times a week or whatever.
That's
awesome.
To
do that, you need to have a display. You need to have a store location. Somebody's got to be there,
Yeah.
and then we were already, selling a lot of deer corn and other products. We've sold hay and straw. And so it just kind of like meshed and blended together as well too. So he's not here, but my son is a trained diesel mechanic. So he works on people's mowers and, small farm equipment and stuff as well too. So we just got a lot of activity going there. And we decided, you know what, to make this really work, we need to put it, kind of mesh it all together. And when you combine all those, there's enough stuff, if we add livestock feed and a couple other things with it, that we can actually have a general store that covers anything from, feeding livestock to pets. And then, Kayla does a tremendous job with baked goods that she makes from recipes from multiple generations deep. And
Nice.
so we've taken an old equipment shed and, finishing it out and actually making a nice little country store is kind of what we're calling it, I guess, a general store. The concept that we have behind it is the experience when you come to our farm to buy the goods. It's not just a commercial building to come pick something up. It's an experience, and you're able to buy from us some products that we've raised. And the livestock feed side of things, we've fed livestock for multiple generations, so we understand it well, and we just have quite a bit to offer experience wise there. And the building's designed to be kind of like an old barn. When you walk in and you're walking into a farm, and that's kind of the concept. We're still working. We got probably another 2 or 3 weeks worth of construction stuff to tidy up a little bit, and then we're starting to stock and carry some inventory items. Kayla, you want to talk about syrup a little bit? She's been boiling down maple syrup here.
Yeah, we have 24 buckets right now, taps and trees. So we just started that a couple days ago. So we've got several gallons going. We've got an evaporator this year. Last year we did it just over a campfire and a little pot and pan, and that was very primitive, very primitive, just starting out. So we got an evaporator this year, so things are going much smoother and a lot more volume this year.
So this maple syrup thing, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you about the process. I mean, you see it on TV and you see these like taps in a tree with a bucket and the whole, is that really what happens?
Yeah.
In a maple tree?
Yeah.
Is it a special kind of tree?
Generally sugar maples do better, but you can tap just about any tree. But maples are the ones that you want.
Sugar content in a maple's higher. And that's really what you're after. When you pull the sap out, you boil this down, and what is it, a 40 to a 50 to 1?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Depends on the content of the sugar. How much is it per year?
So it takes like 50 gallons of raw sap, and you have to boil that, turn it into steam. And at the end, you have 1 gallon of syrup out of 50 gallons. So it's a huge evaporation process.
You get all this sap and you're like, oh, wow, I got so much. Then you boil it down. You're like, oh.
I got enough for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
So,
that's one order of pancakes.
Yeah. So when you see in the woods these, you've seen the tubes that go maybe from tree to tree, that instead of just right in the bucket, and then they go to a bigger tank for more volume and stuff. And, like the evaporator they have now, they could do a couple 100 gallon in a day. With that evaporator that they're using. So they've stepped up their game quite a bit. And it's really neat, and it's kind of hard to believe that it's just the sap out of the tree that, whenever you would cut it, it's just the water out of the tree, and it's got that much sugar in it when you boil all the moisture out. And it's really good.
Yeah, this is a good week to be collecting temperatures and everything.
Don't you just wonder, I often think about who's the first person that figured that out? I'm just going to stick a hole in a tree and hopefully something comes out, and I'm going to boil it down, and I don't know. It's just crazy. So let's talk for a minute about, real maple syrup. Now, I've seen it. Real maple syrup is expensive for the very reason that you
very
said.
Labor expensive, yes.
When you go... And I'm not knocking anything, but if you would go and buy Mrs. Butterworth's or something like that at the grocery store. We're talking about like some sugar water, right? Like that's a whole
Yeah.
completely different situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times the syrups that are in stores is much
It's
thicker.
much thicker. Yeah.
And that has to do probably with some preservative. Obviously that has to get from point A to point, X or Z, and it's got to keep and, it sits in your cabinet and stuff for a while as well too. This syrup's so quite a bit thinner,
Yeah.
but and the interesting thing, depending on the weather, the flavor of the syrup will change. The sugar content will be a little different.
Yeah.
So sometimes in certain weather conditions, there's more sugar in the sap and it makes it sweeter than other situations. So it's not all the same, with it. And obviously you buy a bottle of Mrs. Buttersworth in Ohio and you drive to Oregon and buy a bottle, it tastes the same.
Yeah.
So, that's part of mass production and stuff with it. So anybody that makes homemade maple syrup, a lot of those have their own unique type of flavor depending on their standards
Okay.
of how far they boil it down, how fast they boil it down, and the thickness can change a little bit from that as well too.
Right.
So it's not
kind of-
just, it's kind of customed, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of puts me in the mind of what I've heard from people, from beekeepers and honey, because it kind of depends on the geography and what the bees are eating and, the weather and all of that stuff. So everybody's going to have this like unique flavor almost.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. How in the world did you start doing that?
So it kind of just turned into, it was from a Valentine's Day gift last year. I seen it on Facebook, just people doing it, playing around. I thought it was kind of neat. And my boyfriend bought me just this little starter kit. And that's why we did it in a pot over a campfire. And
That's his style of gifts.
Yeah.
Here's a maple
Yeah.
syrup kit and a butter churn and a cow.
Yeah.
We can have fun. You can make me some
Yeah.
butter and boil some
That's
syrup.
right.
so
Yeah,
I
you
do
can make me something. Hey, at least it wasn't a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
that's
right.
true.
That's true. Yeah. That would have been a different story.
He would no longer be the boyfriend.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that is actually really, really cool. And how something, almost kind of not as a joke, but sort of like that started this, part of your business and your life. I love that story.
Yeah. Kayla's always been, I don't want to say necessarily a tomboy, but not far from it with that stuff. Loves hunting, outdoors, livestock, any of that stuff. She's really enjoyed that. So it doesn't surprise me one bit at all to see her enjoy going out and tapping trees and collecting and making syrup. It just fits her personality.
That's our
with
definition
it.
of date nights. I mean,
It's-
that's pretty normal for us, and I'd
Yeah.
rather be that way.
My wife and I stopped at the farm last night at 11 o'clock, and they were in the barn boiling sap, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yep.
whenever we stop by the farm, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
How romantic.
Yes.
No, I think that's absolutely adorable. I love that. So tell us a little bit about so is the store on the farm?
Yes.
Okay, so how would people get to it and how are they going to know when it's officially open and all that stuff?
So we're going to be doing some radio ads announcing that. Do you want to give the grand opening date or no?
Well, we have some tentative dates.
Yeah, we have some tentative dates that are out there right now.
Yeah, we know how tentative dates work. It's fine.
Right. It's fine until something doesn't happen, right?
Facebook, if you
Yeah.
follow Century Farm Market LLC on Facebook,
Yeah.
and we have a
Okay.
website. Stuff's being posted on it. You got to listen to Total Media advertising, and things will be updated and stuff with it. We're shooting for like a soft opening somewhere about mid-April, first part of
Okay.
April, somewhere in there. Now, obviously, we've been selling feed products all along the whole time through. I have been for years there, and we're just adding a little bit more of that stuff every week. We got some dog food stuff in, so it's kind of slowly growing. So if somebody wants something now, or the phone number, if you remember it off the top of your head, it's new, so I don't remember it, I guess.
740-331-0123.
There you go. So if somebody reaches out, we can get products in for people, right now.
Okay.
One of the big things that we'll be handling that's coming up, that's really, we're almost starting a tick bit later in the year than we wanted. The weather was so tough in January, we couldn't get concrete poured. It was just too cold.
Yeah.
But we're going to be a pretty big supplier of 4-H show animal feeds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
so people, kids, youngsters that take animals to the county fairs, and there's all kinds of specialty feeds and stuff with that. Those projects are just now getting started. We wanted to be open prior to this, but we just didn't quite make it. But another one of the things that we're doing is, we're trying to offer, like I said, it's an experience to come purchase from us. We're not just selling goods, we're offering a service and stuff as well. So we're going to put together a couple educational programs for animal nutrition stuff, horse care, equine clinics, maybe a backyard chicken clinic where people can come, that's free, and learn how to take care of your backyard chickens and what kind of actual feeds and different things that they need. And there'll be experts that come in from the industries to give these presentations and stuff as well too. So, we've got a pretty big plate, planned, I guess, with all this. So
That is absolutely cool. What a fun place to go visit. I just think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Tad's always Tad Steinbrink. We obviously we work with him a little bit. He's not too bad of a person to have for your marketing guy.
We'll keep him.
Well, anyway, he keeps we keep talking about this whole thing of the experience. I keep saying that going back, but that's kind of the concept that we're leaning towards, is the on-farm experience. And a lot of people don't get to do that. So when you come to our place, you get to see, the horses, you get to see our cattle, you'll get to see some, chickens being raised, and we'll share our experiences and some of our expertise that we've had over the years doing these things with people that's trying to get started with it, and that type of thing. So it's it'll be a handful. There's a lot of unknowns, It's been in the family since 1863, and here we are in uncharted waters. You think that after that period of time, you'd pretty much done everything somewhere along the line, but it'll be good. It'll be a good time, and this is primarily, I'm just the dad, so the dad's role.
Yeah.
But the store belongs to Kayla. I'm just the support team, the general labor. I call it the chief operations officer is what I am.
Yeah.
So it's like it's. But we're excited.
This is just super cool. I'm sitting here thinking about the fact that, I don't know, it went out of vogue. Like, I remember, and I think when you were on the show before, maybe we talked about this a little bit, but I remember being a little girl and like going to my grandparents' house, and they had this ginormous garden, and we would, go out and work in it. And she had the ginormous rhubarb patch, and they raised dairy cattle and all of this stuff. And then I feel like some of that just kind of all went out of vogue, and the canning and all of that. And so now all of a sudden we have a global pandemic and it becomes cool again. And what you're doing is so very on point for those who maybe want to get started with some of this own, your own stuff, like having some chickens in the backyard or whatever, but you have no idea how to start, because unless you paid attention to your grandparents, you probably don't know.
Yeah, well, it's one of them things just in society and people in general, and not that I'm this big philosopher, but the pendulum swings back and forth in life.
Everything old becomes new again.
Yes, and it's like reinventing the wheel,
Yes.
And it's like, at some point, if we ever have grandkids, that
No pressure.
they're going to come to me, I know, as well as I'm sitting here, and say, "Hey, Grandpa, guess what we just did the first time ever?" And it's something that I did on a daily basis when I was younger, and it's just, wow, we found this vinyl disc and it plays music, and it's like, yeah, wow, that's a record, that's what we used to listen to. But, the pendulum swings back and forth. And one of the things, we're a small farm, but we're not necessarily really small in Southern Ohio. It's kind of, we're in that awkward stage of, we're not a big farm. We're
Right.
far from a big commercial farm. We're still a small family farm, but we're bigger than most family farms as well too.
Sure.
And I really think that, we don't want to knock commercial agriculture and say it's all bad and terrible, because everybody's going to starve to death if it disappears. That's just a fact. We
Oh, yeah.
cannot in the world raise enough food to feed people in backyard chicken coops. It's just not going to happen.
Correct.
But somewhere in that middle range is where I want to be, with that, of delivering it close to home. It's local. It's a small family farm, and it goes direct to the consumer. And you can do that at a decent scale and still provide a good quality product at a decent quantity as well too. So, I think that's part of the thing, is we had big commercial agriculture and everybody gets to throwing rocks, Roundup chemical, or, it's going to kill everybody. It's a big, terrible, worst thing ever. Well, I tell you that chemical, no matter, maybe it does have some bad stuff with it, but that chemical produces megatons worth of feed that we keep our groceries cheap. And now we're seeing pressure on that stuff. And then we have these big confinement farms, big factory farms. We get like the avionic bird flu, and it just wipes things out. And where are we now? I guess do the grocery shop. And how much are eggs now?
Oh, God.
$7. So whether 99 cents last time I bought some, which may have been 2 weeks ago, I don't know. But, so it's like this pendulum swinging back and forth. And to get agriculture right, it kind of there needs to be that middle ground needs covered. And that's the place that the small family farm in southeastern Ohio can do, and be successful with it.
And I just think that's so cool. And the variety of things that you have. And I know that the deer feed is a huge part. And you've developed this, it's called what? Big Rack, right?
Well, yeah, Big Rack Feeds. Buck Bone Builder is the name of the feed, but Big Rack Feeds is the business. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys have created that. So that's just something else that you can add to the store, which is super cool.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we're going to have lots of different vendors, lots of different products and stuff there, and that's going to be, real important, I guess. At the end of the day, you got to kind of be that one-stop shop. You got to cover a lot of different bases. You can't be very one-dimensional with stuff like that. And we're learning. We're going to let the customers kind of decide where the business is going, what they're wanting, and
Very smart.
what we can provide for them, once we figure out where the demands are. We have an idea what we think will work, but we're very open-minded, to think, well, we don't have a cookie cutter thing saying this is what we're going to do and that's it. We can do several different things. So we even had conversations, in the future for down the road. We wouldn't have the store built. We're talking about we can add on and do this. And farmers markets are always a really, big thing. And it's a very difficult thing for somebody to manage and get lifted off the ground. You have to have an administrator, you have to have insurances, you have to have somebody to manage it. And that's something that I could possibly see coming down the road, that we may be able to facilitate maybe a Saturday or a day or two a month of a seasonal farmers market, that other producers can come to our location and set up to offer our customers more than what we can produce, because I'm not going to raise vegetables. I mean, we just can't do everything.
Right.
Sure.
But if we can bring somebody else in that can provide that at that location, and I think we could probably make that work, because we have a little bit of a step up over top of finding a location, and someone's going to have to administer it. We're already right there, and it's already right up our alley what we're doing. So I don't know if that'll bear any fruit or go anywhere, but that's the kind of concept and ideas, that we have. Tad keeps mentioning agritainment stuff, down the road. And I'm like, that's a whole nother, I'm just like, man, Tad, you're getting way out there for me on that one. I still got corn to plant, and we still farm, 200 to 300 acres of corn and beans, and all the cattle to take care of, and run this store. And we're we're bagging up, several thousand bags of corn for the deer feed and stuff. And, but once again, if that's what, the customers want and desire,
Sure.
that we're willing, to explore those types of things. So
You tell Tad that when he wants to come out and work all of that you'll think
Yeah.
about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll hop
I
on
can
that
see
wagon.
it now.
yeah.
It's a slip and
Yeah, the
slide
problem
to your
is
place.
he would do it, but he would expect to be paid.
Yeah.
So that's where, he and I are on the same page, and then he talks about salary, then I lose interest.
Yep.
So,
Where's his sense of humor?
yeah, I don't get it.
Man.
So he wants me to work for free, but he don't want to work for free. Go imagine that, right?
Just trade
Huh.
it. You just have to trade eggs. That's
You have
it.
to trade eggs. We're paid in
Trade-
eggs. This keeps on.
Yeah.
So,
Eggs at $1 a piece right now. Great.
yeah.
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 don't know.
So to elaborate a little bit, the beef, the CNG cattle is the name of our cattle company. It's not ours; it's hers. But they're going to offer that freezer beef. We're looking into finding somebody that can provide us a local farm to provide us some pork, maybe some homegrown poultry meat, and that type of thing too. So once again, we're already exploring those options that we can't cover that the consumers are going to want.
Right.
They'll stop and buy our beef, but if they can come out and get pork and beef and chicken and
Sure.
eggs and all that stuff in one stop, and it could be more like a grocery stop,
Yeah.
for that type of stuff. And then her baked goods are just ridiculous. You can kind of tell how good of a cook she is. She brought Dad a homemade butterscotch pie in here this morning, so
It's tucked
Oh
away.
my.
he's already got it slid under the desk, I
Yeah.
think. So
He's hiding it. I don't blame
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Well, very good. This is amazing. And please come back and see us when y'all get open. And trust me, I understand more than anyone how challenging some of this stuff can be with build outs and getting businesses open and whatever, and there's always hiccups along the way. So thank you for doing what you're doing, because it's not for the faint of heart, but it is definitely something really needed in our area. And I love that it's in Albany and just kind of it's very centrally located to the Athens community, to our Jackson community, to the Benton County community. So it'll be something that you can draw from all over the place, and people can be served, by what you're doing. So very, very cool.
yeah, we're actually just a mile west of Albany on Factory Road. It's a paved road right there. It's really close to the Benton County line because it's on the west side of Albany. But it's pretty easy
Super
access.
easy.
Really, super easy to get to. And we felt that was the best location for it. We looked at some commercial spots, and we just felt that the on-farm experience is well worth that.
Agreed.
I think people will come because of that.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us this
Yeah,
morning.
thanks
Is there
for having
anything
us.
else we didn't discuss?
Oh, there's.
I was just planning to talk
I
about it.
could talk for days if you know
Well, I'll
me
tell
at
you
all.
what,
So,
you guys come back and talk to us when you get closer to opening, and we'll get more into
Yeah,
the
well-
details. How's that?
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
keep you appraised of what's
Perfect.
going on. Every couple of weeks there's pretty big changes, it seems like, especially right now. So there'll be some announcements and different things that we've got planned. That Tad has a whole marketing plan put together for us on the big reveal, and we have a grand opening. What was the date that we're using for now?
May 10th.
May 10th. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
kind of the plan. I guess that's subject to change if something doesn't go right, but
I feel you.
that's kind of the plan. So yeah, we really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about it.
We'll come back and see us anytime. And this has been Kurt and Kayla Klein. We want to thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. And we'll be talking with you soon, right before the opening. How's that?
Sounds
Sounds
great.
good.
Appreciate it.
All righty. Okay, well, we do have another guest here in the studio, so let's have another message, and we'll be right back.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegramnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegramnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegramnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegramnews.com.
Check it out.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and we are back with another very, very special guest who happens to be in the studio today.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, it's my radio voice.
It's his radio and rock and roll voice.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, just peachy. Got a drummer that's under the weather right now. He couldn't be here this morning.
He's sick.
And got our bass player. He just had to go to work. So now it's just me and you.
So he has a real job on top of the singing gig.
We'll call it that.
Okay.
You know.
Well, tell everybody who you are.
Well, I'm Ricky Lee. I'm the frontman, guitar player of the rock band 8 Lives Left.
You know, and you guys were here the last time. We had a lot of fun talking. I think that was when you were playing at the Apple Festival?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, that's right. It was
before the Apple
Fest.
Fest.
Right before the Apple Festival last year. Yeah, which was a really, really good time. And it was supposed to rain that day and everything, so we didn't have that big of a crowd. But for what was there, it was really good.
You had a great time. Yeah, and you guys do a lot. So tell us, if for those that didn't hear our interview the last time, with all the guys, so God help me with that.
You can still find that on the YouTube page.
Can you?
But yeah,
Okay,
I looked it up last night.
Yeah, they're wild. They're fun.
We do.
You do great.
We do kind of get out of the way.
Yeah, you guys have fun. And that's the whole point. But tell everybody a little bit about 8 Lives Left. Like, where'd you come up with the name and all of that? How'd you all get together and start playing?
Well, I had a show opening up for Tantric a while over a year ago.
Okay.
And everything, and they were like, if you could put a band together, it'd be better. So I was like, all right, and okay. So I got a hold of Jeremy, and I was
pressure.
I was like, this is going to be fun because 2.5 weeks, and we had to get stuff together, and it was just like, we did good though. We did good. We did fine. But yeah, I got a hold of Jeremy, and next thing I know, Jeremy's like, I know a bass player. And then, yeah, we had 2.5 weeks to open up for Tantric in Middletown, Ohio, and wow, I'm telling you, we was the first band to go on, and. We did fine for 2.5 weeks, and them learning songs that they didn't know, so it was pretty good. It was a good time. Tantric liked us, so that's that was the main thing. So
there you go.
But we just went on from there. The next thing you know, we're on the Southern Rock Woodstock show in Gallipolis, and this year we're going to be on the entire tour. So we'll be starting off in Woodstock, Virginia.
Yeah, no, that is so cool. And we've been kind of promoting that Southern Rock Woodstock right here on, all the radio stations and plus here on Main Street TV. And that's not just a one-time concert. This is like a touring thing.
Oh, yeah. So right now, they got 4 shows up right now.
Okay. Traveling show, if you will.
Yeah, Virginia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Gallipolis. And not all in that order.
Okay.
There is rumors that they might add 1 or 2 more shows, maybe, possibly.
Okay. Well, as of now, Gallipolis is the last show, right?
No, actually,
it's not?
I believe it's the 3rd show now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, North Carolina, I believe, is the last one.
Okay. So you guys come up with, in 2.5 weeks, you had to put a band together, learn songs, and open for Tantric.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you like, oh God, we need a name?
Yeah, we was at the time. We were just going by my name, unfortunately. But yeah, then later we were talking about band names, and we were just rambling off names, and our drummers come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, and it just wasn't happening. And then a friend of ours was like, Eight Lives Left sounds like a good name. And I'm like sitting there thinking about it. Well, everybody's been through a bad part in their life where they feel like they've lost a life. Cats have 9 lives, so that's what we ran with.
It makes total sense.
Yeah, so we ran with it, and people dig the cat.
Yeah,
people dig the cat. So it's just like, yeah. So we just did it.
No, I think that's so fun. It's funny. We do this with beer names at the brewery, right? Like, so they'll be like, "Hey, what should we name?" Blah blah blah, and somebody will just spew off something so random, and we're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a good idea in the initial moment.
Or you'll just hear something and you're like, ooh, that would be a good beer name.
It was like going by my name, and it would sound like a good idea, but it was like a must because we had to have something. So it's just like I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go by my name because it's a group effort. And so
I could see that. I mean,
country artists do it all the time and everything, but I kind of find that, I don't know, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I never have an actual band name because it's, like I said, it takes a group to make it happen. So
because it is a group effort for sure.
Yeah.
So you get these two people, several people together, and you form this band, and then you're like, we need to pick some songs to play to open for Tantric. Like, so how does all that happen in 2.5 weeks?
Well, luckily I had some originals I had already previous wrote from a while back and everything, and so I was like, guys care to learn these are pretty easy, and they're like, oh yeah, we can do that. And yeah, believe it or not, we actually did. We actually pulled them off really well.
Wow.
So I was, yeah, and we were like, wow, well, maybe this will work, so we just ran with it for, we're playing Appalachian Uprising over in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and then did, like I said, the Southern Rock Woodstock and Gallipolis, and then a bunch of local shows and stuff and everything, from Columbus to Greenfield.
Yeah.
To here. And speaking of here,
yes,
you heard about the new place, right?
I have heard about the new place.
Have you been there yet?
No.
Oh, it's small, but it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. The staff is really good. The bartenders are awesome. We'll be playing there the 15th, Saturday.
Yep.
At the Bar and Grill is actually what it's called. A simple name.
Over in the old Western Auto building. If you don't know what we're talking about, everybody knows where Western Auto was.
Yeah, around here, yeah, definitely. But then the night before, though, we're going to be making our introduction to Buckeye Lake.
Okay, that's fun.
At the Mill Dam Corner Grill near Buckeye Lake.
Okay.
And they're excited about having us, and we're excited about being up there for that too. So, and then we got a couple other shows. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Memphis Rundown. From out of Mason, West Virginia, where we'll be doing a show with them at the Court Street Grill the 22nd.
Okay.
So you'll get
venue.
two bands for the price of one. So that's always a good thing. And they do an excellent job, and we all get along really well. So it's going to be a fun show. We actually had Breton with us. We just played at Parker's Place Saturday night. And Breton from the Memphis Rundown, he came down and he was like, "You care if we do some songs together?" It's like, "Come on, man, let's do it."
Heck yeah.
So it'll be a good time.
That's one of the most fun things that I feel like about bands and artists and whatever. It's like you have a buddy in the crowd, and the next thing you know, or there's somebody. I know, for example, we had some music at the tap room not too long ago, and one of our servers is very, very talented, and she writes her own songs and stuff. And he had her come up and sing a couple songs with him, and I was like, that is just so cool, and I think that's so fun with artists and how collaborative. It is. God knows I don't have any of that talent.
You got to learn to collaborate and work together on stuff like that and everything. And sometimes that stuff is spontaneous, and you just got to figure it out right then and there. So no pressure at all.
No. So 8 Lives Left. What kind of music are people going to hear from you guys?
Nothing but fun rock and roll. Everything from Bob Seger to Stone Temple Pilots, and we play a lot of stuff that we write too.
That's awesome.
So that way there's a little bit of difference. We try to have a wide spectrum, I guess you would say, of rock and roll music. We've been known to throw out a couple country songs, but that's not really our forte. So I'm more of a rocker. We're more of rockers, so we like to rock and roll. So
listen to these rock guys singing country.
Yeah, we do okay.
It's better than, honestly, that would probably be better than country guys trying to sing rock.
I don't know. I mean, have you seen Brad Paisley?
Not rocking out, no.
Oh, he does Eruption by Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah?
And he kills it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love
he
me
kills
some
it.
Brad
He does
Paisley.
a great job. Yeah, Brad Paisley, Keith Urban is like
Keith
two
Urban.
of my favorite. Vince Gill,
Definitely.
all really good guitar players. It's super smooth.
Yeah.
But we also have our last show for this month is at the Stockroom, the 29th.
Okay.
That's where we schedule because all the snow that we got. And everything.
What snow?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I don't know if we got any snow.
No, we
Just
never had like
kidding.
a foot of snow at all. Never.
No, never.
It's never happened
14
here.
inches of snow. Well, very good. So you guys are a little bit of everywhere. So how did people find out your schedule? Because we can't remember all this stuff, right?
well,
so 8 Lives Left. Where do we find you? Social
I don't
media.
expect anybody to remember our schedule. We have a pretty good schedule so far already starting up this year. We just look us up on Facebook under 8 Lives Left.
Okay.
Number 8 and then Lives Left. And you can find us like on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube also if you want to see some videos of us. Just look us up. And we usually have, like, I set up an event page and stuff for all of our shows and all that. So it tells you when, where, what time, all that good stuff. So.
That's right. So go see these guys. You have plenty of opportunities right here in our area. They're awesome. They rock it out, and they're just good dudes in general. So
We try to be.
You are.
We try to be. We try to stay under the rowdy part of it, you know. It's hard
just
sometimes.
rowdy enough.
Just enough. Just enough.
JRE.
Yeah. Well, we come to rock Jackson because, Jackson doesn't rock itself, so they need help.
Amen, brother.
We're there.
Yes, absolutely.
So definitely hope to see everybody at a show here real soon. So.
You got it. And again, check them out on social media, Facebook, YouTube, all of the places and things. And 8 Lives Left with the number 8.
8.
8.
Ocho.
Ocho.
The Ocho.
The Ocho.
Yep.
Ricky Lee. That is like such a good band name.
I love it.
Rocker name.
I love
My name's
it.
Ricky Lee.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that was my dad and mom on that one. That wasn't my choice on that.
It sounds
Yeah.
cool though.
Oh, it has a little bit of a ring to it, I guess you could say. I've heard worse.
Nah, I think it sounds cool. So, well, is there anything else you want to tell our viewers before we get to Pete Wilson and some news?
Well, we appreciate you guys for having us on.
Welcome
we
back
appreciate the radio
anytime.
stations for allowing us to come on today and everything. And hopefully we'll be seeing each other again, and hopefully we'll be seeing all of you all at one of our shows.
There you go.
So feel free to come up and say hi. And we have merchandise. We have can koozies. We do T-shirts, and we've been known to give away some stickers of band photos too. So yeah, so it's a good time. Yeah.
There you go. Come see them. They're great guys and a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you.
Y'all rock. I'm telling you. Those
you rock.
Those of y'all who haven't heard of Main Street TV, you guys need to come and check it out. You need to check it out. It's awesome. They're good people.
We try. All right.
Yeah.
Cool thing. Well, 8 Lives Left, Ricky Lee. Thank you for hanging out with us this
You're
morning.
very
We
welcome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
All right. Well, we do have another message, and I see our friend Pete Wilson waiting in the green room over there. So we'll be back.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023. Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Pete Wilson to talk about all of the wild and happening news that occurred over the weekend here in our area. And boy, was there a lot of news.
Yes, there was, and but there is something that, of course, leads the list without a doubt, and we're talking about 100 pounds of dynamite
McKenna.
In McKenna Craft, I tell you, you cannot.
100 pounds dynamite. I love that.
You cannot overstate her accomplishment.
This kid is awesome.
For those who somehow have not heard or don't know about it, McKenna Craft, Jackson High School senior, made history this past weekend. On Sunday evening, she won the championship in the 100-pound division of the Ohio High School Athletic Association State Wrestling Championship. And this was her 4th year in a row to be a state champion.
Yes.
She won as a freshman when it was the Coaches Association doing the tournament, but it was the next best thing to being state sanctioned. The last 3 years, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, noticing the increased interest and participation in girls wrestling,
female wrestling,
made it a state tournament just like the boys have been through some time. This is McKenna, I believe that is a great photo from her first round match. And
These poor girls that have to wrestle her, I bet they're just like, oh no.
Well, this is from the first match on Friday. She won a first round match on Friday. Then she won a quarterfinal and a semifinal on Saturday.
Yep.
And then on Sunday, at the end of the day, they have all the championship matches, boys and girls. She happened to be very first because the girls went first, and it was the 100-pound division, which is the lowest one.
Yep.
But anyway, McKenna, in all 4 of her matches, won by technical fall, which basically means that is wrestling's version of a mercy rule. In other words, it ends before the match is over because you're so far ahead on points.
Yes.
You don't have a pin, but you basically win on points. And it doesn't even go the entire distance. I'm not sure what picture that's from. That may be from the championship match because I remember it is. From the young lady who she wrestled, I remember when I watched the video, she was in green.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm going to be
careful. It's over so fast, Pete, you can't remember which one's which.
This was all 4 of them were mismatches. 3 of her wins were by 21-6.
Yep.
And the one in the championship match was 19-4. Okay, so just think a baseball game with that score or whatever, for context. But I'm not sure what the times were. That doesn't matter because you win on points. Here she is. That is the iconic photo. You're going to see that picture repeated, shared, duplicated many times. You're going to see it in print. I guarantee you, because I know the editor.
Yeah,
we're gonna blow that up in the paper. That is where she is raising her hand in triumph after winning her 4th straight state championship. Obviously, then there's 4 years that you can compete in a state wrestling tournament or any tournament. You can only win it 4 years. So this is immortality. I don't care what female wrestler comes along in future years. Nobody can do better than what McKenna did.
Right.
It would be hard to imagine that anyone can dominate more than McKenna did. I urge you, we want to give our kudos to Kelly Roush, who is the local doctor, the trainer, who really spends so much time with all of our athletes, and she is of course, big fan of McKenna. Usually travels with the team to the matches, and it's good to have a person with her skills there, if there is an injury or you need to treat or whatever. But she did some video, and she videoed the championship match. We were allowed to share that. It is on the Telegram site. This is not the video interview, which we're going to do in a minute. This was the video of the match. And if you watch that, you can appreciate just how superior McKenna Craft is to her competition. Now, remember, she's not wrestling chopped liver. She is wrestling the best female wrestlers in the state, and something else that maybe many people don't realize. Because the girls wrestling is new, there are no divisions, which means that she is wrestling against girls from the bigger schools as well. It's from A to Z there. And so there are schools well established, especially some of the larger schools in the more suburban and city areas for wrestling. And so, she beat all comers, and it wasn't even close. So I'm not sure what I don't know whether there's going to be a statue or whatever.
I know, right?
Somebody needs to do something because that girl, I tell you, we've had, in my memory, I got to be careful because I go way back, but I don't go all the way back. We've never had a team win a state championship from Jackson High School, all right? We've had Morgan Dobbins, not all that many years ago, win a state golf championship.
Yep.
We've had Karina Fulks, now Karina Fulks Ray, win the long jump. About 2012, something like that. Those were fantastic. Imagine someone who has done it 4 years.
I know. And it made it look so easy.
4 years, and really did make it look easy. Todd Compston, our sports editor, was there to interview McKenna after it was all over. He had to wait because everybody wanted to interview her. But we have about a 2-minute interview where he talked with her. And I tell you what, not only did she handle herself well on the mat, she handled herself well with the press as well and all that attention. She was written up by the OHSAA as the most decorated female wrestler in that tournament going in, and she did not disappoint. She lived up to the hype. Got a great ovation from all those wrestling fans, knowledgeable wrestling fans who were there for the tournament. But Jimmy, if you could roll that video now. This is Todd Compston interviewing McKenna Kraft probably within an hour after she made history.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just, has it sunk in 4 times? 4-time state champion?
I mean, I guess so. It's a very bittersweet moment. I mean, I love Jackson, I love the whole community, and I love everybody that's been around me. But it's really cool to be a 4-timer now, so I guess it's a very bittersweet moment.
Just take me through the whole weekend. Take me through your journey this weekend, and then today.
I mean, really, I look at every match the same, so it's kind of been the same preparation for all weekend. Starting with Friday, I had a match Friday night, weigh-ins Friday morning. But I mean, every day kind of been the same routine and everything, just because every match is the same, you never know.
Right, and today in the state finals, of course it ended in a tech fall.
Yeah.
However, it's a lot different than the last 2 years where you actually had pins.
Yeah. I guess I just wanted to wrestle. It's one of my last times wrestling. It's probably my last time wrestling folk style, or one of the last. So I just kind of wanted to go out there and wrestle.
When I saw your first match, your consolation, your semifinal, it kind of looked like to me like once you got far ahead, it's like you were coasting. Like, okay, I'm not going to let you take me down. I'm going to win this.
I mean, was
that kind of the mindset?
No, I just go out there and wrestle. I mean, I want to put points on the board and do what I love.
What's been the best part of this whole 4-year journey?
Just really seeing all the support I have and the community behind me.
Okay, and I heard you say yesterday that you haven't decided on yet where you're going.
Yes, sir.
That within a month and a half, you'll let us know. You'll announce it.
Somewhere around that, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to anything else you want to add.
I'm good.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, we do invite you to go on to, obviously this is going to be a big thing in our Wednesday paper.
Oh, yeah.
And on the website.
Huge.
We already have some things on Facebook, which are free. We invite you to go see them.
Please.
We've got that picture, that we showed there, that will be one in the scrapbooks and the digital libraries for years. We have the video that Kelly Roush graciously gave us.
Yes.
We shared some other pictures that we have from there. And, of course, we have this video from Todd Compston. And, as I said again, please watch, if you haven't seen a wrestling match, and many people have not, let's be honest about it, a state wrestling match. They've seen big-time wrestling. This is a little different. This is the real deal.
It is.
You need to see her wrestle in that match because, I tell you what, you really do feel sorry for the other girls.
It is. It's how sad.
This is something I'm saying out of school, but I think she may have had a chance to pin some of those girls, but she enjoyed being out there as long as she could.
No, and I think that she even alluded to that in the interview, that she just wanted to wrestle.
She just wanted to wrestle. Exactly. That is exactly what she said. And, if you want to measure McKenna's celebrity and how people around here are proud of her, the last time I checked, we posted that video. It was well after the fact because Todd had to get his time with her, and then he had to post it. So this is an hour after, close to an hour after people already know, but they still wanted to see that video. When I came in here, we had hit 35,000 views on that video. 35,000 views. and the same type of reception to the other things that we posted on Facebook. So.
Oh, 36 now.
36,000. Okay. Wow. I mean, you would think that's Elvis sighting
stuff.
Or earthquake
wild.
hits Jackson
yes,
stuff.
Yes,
maybe more. But the other thing, and we don't want to lose sight of this, another young man from our local area did so well.
Yes.
And I know that, it's too bad it's lost in the shuffle of McKenna's unspeakable achievement. Travis Bucklew, senior from Benton County, finished 7th in his category, which was the 126-pound boys division, Division II. Once again, he's going up against the best state wrestlers in the state from all over the state in Division II. There he is, having his hand up after one of the victories. I'm not sure which one it is, but he wrestled 5 times and won 3.
Wow.
He won his first match. He lost his second, which put him in the consolation round where you have to fight your way back, kind of.
Yeah.
He won his third. He lost his 4th, and then when he wrestled on Sunday for 7th place, the winner got 7th, the loser got 8th. He won.
Awesome.
19-2. He had a technical fall.
Cool.
So he finishes 7th in the state. In his sophomore year, he finished 8th. In the junior year, he finished 8th. So he moved up a notch.
Attaboy.
3 times he placed in the state. I'm not sure how many wrestlers there are. I think there's maybe 16. I should have been more concrete on that.
I think there are.
You don't place just because you're there.
No.
It's an honor to be there.
Yes.
The top 8 are considered placers, and he placed 3 years in a row.
That's
so
so
congratulations to Travis Bucklew. Obviously, we will have coverage about his great feat up there as well. A couple other things to mention real quickly, because there is other news, and you're just going to have to wait for it, because you know what we had to talk about this morning.
Yes.
We do want to mention the dirty rain, because
that was the weirdest thing, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life.
The dirty rain affected everybody. Everybody wondered, wait a minute, I didn't drive through any mud or dust. What's this on my car?
I got out of the restaurant. I went to my car, and I was like, I can't see anything. I was like, what happened?
Well,
and then I realized, I saw Jeremiah had posted something.
Right. And that was a good scientific explanation. The National Weather Service posted
Never
that.
heard of such a thing.
We shared that, but everybody was affected, of course.
Yes.
But it's so strange. The rain comes down, and you think it washes off your car, but in this case, it made it dirty.
And it was like hail, too. Like, it was hailing, and it rained, and it was doing
There is a view. I think that might be Jeremiah's car, or a car that he found that it looked especially bad. I had to wipe mine off.
About what my car looked like.
As well. The car washes, if you could find one that worked, would make a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
But the dirty rain basically comes from dust in the Southwest, Texas and Oklahoma. It goes up in the air, and what goes up must come down somewhere.
So strange.
And it came down as rain in our area. It's a phenomenon. It has happened before, but certainly not very often, because it really took people by surprise. They wondered, their cars parked outside, they come back out, and what happened? So,
and you couldn't see like you had to, do the windshield wipers and the fluid and the whole thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, you really did. A couple other things we want to tell you about, because there's scamming going on. The sheriff's office in Jackson reported this, and I know scams aren't anything new, but there all seem to be different versions of the scam, so you need to be aware.
Yep.
The latest scam reported by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office involves a male voice, that was what the reports are, where he is falsely claiming to be a deputy in effort to extort money. So he's impersonating a deputy on the phone, and he calls from the 740 area code, if you see that on your ID, so you think it's local, or in the area at least, and they say, you did not show up for jury duty, you should have known, and now you're going to be arrested if you do not pay your fine. Here is how you can pay your fine. And you know what that could lead to.
Oh, my.
And apparently there were multiple calls there. The sheriff's office said, a deputy will never call you on the phone to request payment in lieu of jail time. If you have a warrant, a uniformed deputy with credentials or proof will physically find you. It's never going to be by phone. Do not give any individual like this scammer any money, gift cards, or electronic money transfers. If you do hear about these scams, even though we reported it and you say, oh, God, that's a scam, call the sheriff's office.
Yes.
They need to know so they can
know.
warn others, because people do fall prey to this
Oh,
because
very
they,
much.
they worry about being arrested, and maybe just by coincidence, maybe they did miss jury duty or something, and then they think, boy, they got me.
Yep.
No, they got you if you fall for this.
That's right. Don't fall for it.
So there you are. We'll talk more tomorrow about some other things.
Okay. Well, very good. What a fun morning to get to report the news, right, Pete?
It is, and I tell you what, we may never see the likes of McKenna Kraft again.
I know, but never fear, her career is far, far, far from over.
Right. I always love this when we do this because I don't know, maybe some folks in this area think they've got an inferiority complex, or we can't compete against the big boys, the big schools, the suburban areas, the cities, the places where they could put more money into their programs because they have more money. Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah.
It's talent, and McKenna Kraft and Coach Brandon Oliver,
Oh, yeah.
he of the pink suit, will tell you.
Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to see Brandon's outfit, you need to check it out.
Yeah.
It's so Brandon.
We might have to show that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But he, let me tell you what, he will tell you, and she will tell you, there's a lot of work that goes into that. It just doesn't happen. Coaches can't put in what God left out, but then there's the second thing that follows up on that, and that is work.
There is.
Hard work. That separates you, and it separated McKenna Kraft.
And amazing guidance from an amazing coach, and Brandon is.
Right, and it parallels into life, too. It can go into business,
Very
a
much
lot of
so.
other things.
All of that.
Absolutely. What a role model, McKenna Kraft.
Yep. All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we will be right back here in the morning and find out some more news from Pete. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.